Good evening everyone, welcome to Sociology Analytica. This is Pooja, Prasanna, your Sociology faculty. So today I'm going to take up a new question on work and economic life, that is about informal organization of work. Okay, the question is simple: what is informal organization of work? How has globalization led to the growth of informal sector? It's a 10-marker question. Okay, so for this we can start with what is informalization of work or what is informal organization in simple. So it's give a small simple definition, or and you can subsequently give a characteristic of informal organization of work. Okay, so here again there is no specific definition for such keywords. Wherever you can think of, whichever books you have referred, anything you can actually give. Okay, so a network of connections and channels of communications based on informal relationship of individuals. So basically you are having connections and you have certain type of network of communications, and you are working in some organization. Why? Because of the informal relation. Maybe you will hire your friends or maybe family members, someone who you know very well, so you are just hiring them, maybe not on the basis of merit but on the basis of the relationship what you already have. So this is nothing but informal organization of work. Okay, and here the superior subordinate relation between officers may be influenced by commanding personality. So basically the superior and subordinate relation, what it is usually there in the formal organization, that may not be there in informal organization. Okay, so it is mostly based on the commanding personality, like who you are. Okay, how are you hiring, like what is the position, what is your relationship. So based on that, your superior and subordinate relationship will also be established. Next, you can write some of the characteristic of informal organization. That is low skills. Most of the informal organizations, most of them, they have low skill. Easy entry, that is as you have the work which is done is also not that skilled work. That is why it is it makes you very easy to get into that particular job. Next, most of the informal workers are usually low paid employment, and most of the informal workers also have that is a population in informal workers are mostly the immigrant laborers. Okay, someone who is coming from different place, because maybe they are coming from village area and they are settling down in some maybe urban area somewhere in search of job. Okay, so mostly such type of laborers will be there. Next, they will be having unofficial and unstructured relationship, that is the people within the informal sector. So they will be having unofficial and unstructured relationship. So there is no proper official relationship the way you find in formal sector. So that sort of relationship will not be there. Okay, so this is about formal or informal organization of work. We'll tackle the next part of this question, that is about the globalization. See, with the advent of globalization, what has happened? So that is industries are moving from one part of one country to that of the other country. Wherever, basically, why are they moving? They are actually coming in search of cheap labor. Okay, so the production systems are becoming increasingly atypical and non-standard. So basically what is happening? So previously, however the system used to be there, now no more that system is there. Okay, so let's say previously even the clothing manufacturing sector in Britain might be extremely formal, because the government rules and regulations will be such that they have to maintain a formal organization. Maybe the daily wage might be high, so they have to pay the workers that particular daily wage. But now this is becoming extremely costly. So what they are doing, so in order to cut down the prices, production prices, they are actually searching for those places where the labors are extremely cheap. Okay, where the resources are they're getting extremely at a cheaper place, and the manufacturing unit itself will become extremely cheap. So what they're doing, so they're actually searching for cheap labor. Okay, they're searching for cheap labor, or they're also going for outsourcing. So whatever the work, so what they'll do, some cheap labor, let's say in Bangalore, in Bangalore or Hassan, somewhere in Coimbatore, somewhere the clothes manufacturing unit will be there. So basically these workers will be probably making the clothes of some branded company. Okay, some branded Louis Vuitton, some branded company they would be making. Only thing is, they will send all the resources, design everything, and this cheap labor will be manufacturing for them. Okay, did you understand? So it has become extremely atypical, not the style which used to be there, and it has become extremely non-standard. They do not maintain any standardized way of manufacturing, because they're outsourcing and they're searching for cheap labor. So they're going for those countries where the cheap labor will be there. Okay, so because of this flexible workforce, because of globalization, there's also flexible workforce, and they're engaged in temporary and part-time employment. Flexible workforce, what does that mean? So that means You don't have to be employed permanently, or you can be temporary, there can be freelance work type, work culture might be there. Okay, so there is no as such rigidity in the workforce. If you want to work, you can work. If you don't want to work here, you can work for somewhere else. Nowadays there is also work from home. Okay, isn't it? Work from home concept is also there. So basically, because of globalization, too much of flexibility has increased. Okay, so now that is why people are engaging more in part-time employment. Okay, so and globalization of because of this globalization, we are also seeing a concept, that is globalization of labor. So labors are also becoming globalized. That means what? So there is too much of high mobility and transboundary movement. So wherever wherever the opportunities are there, especially transboundary movement you see for the skilled labors. Okay, the high mobility and transboundary movements you see for a skilled labor. So suppose you are skilled, and in your country or in your society there is not enough jobs are there. So what you're going to do? So you're going to move from one to the other. Okay, do you understand? So increasing competitions among industries. So as there's and globalization of labor, why do we have globalization labor? Because there's an increase in competition among the industries, that who will get the cheap labor. Okay, who will get the cheap labor? And where do you get the cheap labor? If you have an informal sector, if you hire them for the part time, okay, then only you will be having the cheap labor. Because if you have a standardized industrial unit, then you have to give them the proper wage and etc. So because of this, there is an increase in informal sector. Okay, did you understand? So you can write about the impact of informal sector because of globalization. First and foremost thing is, women have been pushed to the lowest income in the informal sector, isn't it? So women usually were actually given less less wage. At least in the formal sector, they can at least ask for the equal wage, isn't it? Because of the equal remuneration, so at least they can ask for equal wage. But now, because of the increase in informal sector, now women cannot even ask for the equal wage, and most of the time women would be given less wage. The next is new jobs for wage workers, for self-employed. So this is a negative point, but this is a somewhat positive point. Because of rise in informal sector, now new jobs are also coming. For example, see, recently now there is a post COVID, there is gig economy. So now a lot of gig workers are coming because of informal sector. All these gig workers are informal workers. So because of this, because of informal sector, at least those people who are unemployed, at least with low skill, they are getting some form of employment. Next, see, and also informal sector, it also has a certain other positive impact. That is what is happening, because the only thing is, there is no formalization of work, but then there is a lot of work because of growth, because of globalization. Okay, so there is also a demand for skilled labor. Okay, so some amount of skill. See, some work they may not ask skill, but some work they may ask some amount of skill. So because of this, people are also going for getting their skill. Okay, did you understand? So see, these are some of the impact on informal sectors because of globalization. See, I have given you only in one line, but what you have to do is, you have to explain these things in detail, because I'm not gonna, this is not answer writing, this is only, I'm talking about the structure, what all you can write. So see, when I said like this gig worker, what you have to do, you have to you have to explain about that. You have to just give one or two example. Okay, so there is also competition for the bottom of the barrel. What is bottom of the barrel? So basically they're trying to check, so which country has the most cheap labor? Okay, which country encourages the informal sector? Where can we make more money? So now there's a competition of this. So all these words you have to write in detail, and little bit of explanation for all these things. Did you understand? Just don't write keywords and leave it off there. You have to explain little bit more about them. Okay, did you understand? So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to tomorrow I'm going to discuss one more question of work and economic life. Until then, if you have any queries, please drop your queries in the comment section. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much.